Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley and Angela Hiley here with the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And we are on we're rolling on cloud 9 right now. We just came back from the Dent Trainer Mega Media event.
Hell motherfucking yeah.
You know, I was surprised. Like, every person there seemed like they were a listener of our podcast.
Yeah.
Didn't you notice how, like, we would go out to dinner and they would start talking about stories?
Yeah.
About our podcast?
Or I had people that were coming up during, like, the break at the event, and they would be like, oh, I've listened to your podcast, and you're doing such a wonderful job. And I'm like, oh, which one did you listen to? What did I say?
What did I say, right? Yeah. But that's cool, though, you know, and like what we got, like I just, you know, our listeners are so cool, though, because, you know, we got a lot of, you know, you guys are just talking and bringing it, you know, you're bringing something different. And I really like that compliment because that's really what we were looking for when we were kind of like forming the concept and developing the show. And for all you technical guys that are waiting for some technical advice, damn, man, I need to get on that, right? Yeah, because I mean, I don't think I've done a technical podcast here since you've came on.
You slacking, motherfucker.
Yeah, I got to think of some stuff to talk about with y'all, right? You know what it used to be like?
But it's all good in the hood.
Well, here's what would happen before. Like, you know, I knew that I had to get a podcast out like every week. Mm-hmm. So I would be working on a car and some sort of frustration would come over me. Mm-hmm. Or something would come over me that's like, man, I gotta tell the audience about this.
You're like, it's about that time.
So I would walk over to the mic and I'd just rip a podcast out for 10 minutes straight talking about technique. And
everybody was feeling you.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, I feel your frustration.
You know what, though? I need to do some marketing rants because that is like what I've been on, like on big time, just talking about marketing because that's all we talked about at the event. And people were pumped.
I know.
I have never seen or been to, and keep in mind, like I've been to a lot of PDR related events. I've been to, you know, obviously the Mobile Tech Expo around people. It was weird. It was like this event was like a good intimate connection with a like medium-sized group of people that we all just did everything together. Like, if we weren't, like, eating at or going to, like, a bar or a restaurant together that night, next thing you know, you'd end up and everybody was at the pool by the hotel. And it wasn't one of them events that you walked from here to there and you ran into, like, 100 different people like the Mobile Tech Expo. It was like you found out where your people were and you hung with them.
Well, I would say, like, it was more of an intimate feeling with everybody. And there was a very good positive vibe that was just flowing through the air. And everybody, it flew really nice. It flowed, not flew. Well, wait a minute, flew. Like our plane ride, right?
Right, yeah.
On the way to San Diego.
It's kind of where it started. It was on the plane ride. We're going to kind of take you back, you know what I mean? And kind of like start out on our plane ride. And the things that happened and the things that unfolded.
The thing that happened to John on the plane. It
wasn't that bad. I mean, it
was funny, though.
I almost caused somebody to jump out of a emergency escape and put on his life vest. But
No.
He could have, though. He was sleeping when that all went down.
He was sleeping, and he was trying to put his head on your shoulder.
Don't tell him what happened.
He's trying to put his head on your shoulder.
Yeah. So the first thing that happened, we got on our plane, right, and we boarded. And we realize that we're sitting by this guy, and he looks like he's, Mr. taking up the whole seat. He's got like one leg up on the wall, and he's all like sprawled out, like he owned the whole.
Exactly.
And then he almost thought it sucked as bad as like what we did, that we were sitting beside him. You know what I mean? Because he's like, Jesus, this giant tattoo guy is going to be sitting right by me, right? And I mean,
what the fuck did I get myself into?
I may have only weighed about 70 pounds more than him.
Yeah.
He might have been squirrely, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm convinced that he was... God, how do I say this without being politically... I don't care about being politically incorrect, but he was... but do you say gay or homosexual?
I don't know. Does it matter?
But he was like a brute type one. You know what I mean?
I didn't think he was, but...
I swear to God, when he opened his laptop, him and his groom was on there on his laptop. Yes, yeah.
They were partners.
They were married, too, because he had a ring.
Yeah.
But
good for him, but you think he would be a little bit more social. Like, we all would have been laughing and having a good time together.
And I'll be honest with you, like, I'll be straight up with you guys. I ain't going to be ashamed to say it. Like, I think... like, certain type of gay dudes are the funnest people to hang out with.
100%.
100%. Them dudes don't... Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you.
Real.
Them guys don't even give one fuck.
No,
they don't give one fuck. All right? So I go out with my, whatever. We go out with the people, right? And there's a mixture, right? So if you got somebody like Woody Koss, our buddy Woody Koss that's coming to the dent trainer, he doesn't give one fuck. Dan, all right? He doesn't give one fuck. But then you got all these other guys that are really reserved. They're scared to dance, They kind of look like, they're scared to open up and fully be themselves because they're afraid of what they're going to look like. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to judge them, stuff like that. And I'm telling you, when we were at her birthday party
last year,
we were at the Howl at the Moon Saloon where she almost attacked 2 or 3 girls.
We've already spoke about that.
And they,
a mother and her 2 daughters.
Right. So go back and listen to it. Like, we were in the moral standing of being right. Let's tell you that, okay? But
I was right. I wasn't in the wrong.
There was some gay guy that was beside us. He was the most hilarious dude I've ever met in my life.
Such a good time.
This guy was
Best
like dropping it like it was hot, like a middle-aged chubby dude that was.
We're middle-aged.
Like, I don't know.
We're around the same age.
Have you ever seen like Jack Black dance and he like squeezes his butt real hard and then gives you that look and then hits the ground?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way this guy was. It was hilarious. Like, we spent our whole time sitting at our table like watching this dude.
Dance.
I guess be himself or whatever.
And it was wonderful.
And it was insane. So
every bit of it.
He comes up to our friend Nick, and he's like, "Hey, man." He's like, "You want to do a dance with me, right?" And I mean, this guy knows we're with girls and all that stuff, right? He's just trying to like antagonize, right? And Nick is not about dancing. Like, number one, I've never seen Nick dance, and I've certainly never seen him. You cannot talk that dude to get up on stage and karaoke. No. And
we tried.
So Nick is like straight up no. Well, he comes up to me, and at first I'm like, nah, no. I'm like, dude, no. This guy keeps on approaching me, and finally I'm like, you know what, dude? Turn around, bitch! I turn him around and like start dancing with him, and you know what I mean. I just let him know. I let him know what was up.
Oh, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
You loved it. You loved it.
It was funny, good times.
It was a positive highlight of my birthday night.
In all honesty, like, I can appreciate somebody that lets loose and says, I don't even give one flying fuck about what anybody thinks about me. I'm just going to do my thing, I'm
going to do my thing and have a good time.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, anyhow, like, we went way down a rabbit hole there because we're talking about the guy sitting by us on the plane that I thought was gay because of the things I seen on his laptop, right? And, but he looked like a really dominant dude. He almost looked like gosh, could you imagine like a Jersey Shore dude that has that angry talk, like from Jersey, like, hey, man, I'm fucking gay.
I don't think he did a Jersey accent very well, but
yeah, it wasn't good, was it?
No, that was kind of bad. But
you guys know what I'm talking about, though.
Anyways,
you guys know that, like, if you go to New Jersey or some of the northern areas, like, even if people just talk to you, it sounds like they're angry.
Yeah.
They're angry. They're not angry, though.
No,
I've worked with a lot of these guys. All you Jersey guys out there staring like, I'm not angry, motherfucker. And, but I'm saying that, like, the way you're Tony. If I lived up there, I would think that everybody was mad at me.
John.
I would seriously think that everybody was mad at me. But this guy had that vibe, right? And so anyhow, we all sit there, you know, he's doing his thing and all that.
He drank like 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah, he drank like 2 bottles of wine. But before that, we get a text message, and it's Jennifer Carroll, who we just had on our podcast.
Oh, this is before boarding the plane.
No. I got him when we were on the plane. Like after I met the guy and everything like that. That's when I got all the messages. We ran through the plane, and she was sending us messages because she was out there in the terminal. They were boarding the same plane.
Yeah.
So I was like,
you got
how
him when we sat down.
Freaking cool is that?
Yeah.
We hold a Dent Trainer Mega Media event, and some of our like best friend attendees, my baby Jeremy, I'll tell you guys about that later. And yeah, you guys have to follow me. If you guys haven't seen the video yet, you have to check it out. My baby Jeremy, 245 pound, 9 ounces.
A pure love.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he is pure love, though. Or boarding the plane, so we're like, oh, whoa, to San Diego. This is our like last hit where we're in Atlanta. We're heading to San Diego. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, we're flying out, right? Mm-hmm. And we get in the plane. Mm-hmm. And first off, like, I don't know about this TV shit that's going on in there, you know? I start seeing all these people watching movies. I'm like, damn, are these iPads? They paying for them and stuff like that?
We didn't realize that we were allowed to watch that stuff.
Yeah. I didn't think it was like, because we were sitting in
Delta Comfort.
Delta Comfort. So we didn't go all out. We didn't charge Dent Trainer, you know, first class. But we were pretty much like the row behind first class. So we're sitting there with another guy on the left-hand side. And finally I realized that we can watch these movies. Like I clicked this TV in front of me and start going through it. And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, they got some good movies on here.
Yeah.
So I started getting down with some Baywatch. And
now, wait a minute. Now,
dude, that was funny. That movie's funny.
I know, but just keep in mind that the gentleman that was sitting beside John, he had drank like 2 bottles of wine, and he was sleeping at the time. Like he was in a deep sleep.
He was in such a deep sleep, he was creeping on me.
Yeah, he was trying to put his head on John's
It was
shoulder.
getting close. Like, it was like coming off his seat and starting to verge on
he
mine.
wanted to cuddle with you.
And so anyhow, like, he didn't get all the way there, but I'm watching Baywatch, right? And which is hilarious. It's the new movie. If you guys haven't known, it's like a new movie with the Rock and, you know, all these people in it. And very, very funny. And so I'm watching, I'm laughing along. All of a sudden, I'm telling you guys ever like been sleeping at night and get a cramp in your leg?
A Charlie horse.
Like a Charlie horse in your leg. It feels like when it finally wakes you up that it's so bad that you almost got to fall out of your bed and like work it out, like start doing yoga stretches. That is exactly what happened to me on that flight while I was watching Baywatch. Yeah. Like a Charlie horse hit me like I literally, like an atomic bomb.
Oh, no.
Caused me to spring out of my seat, erupt in a moment of panic.
Exactly.
Kick my feet out.
And I'm like, are you
and
okay?
just burst as this guy looks terrified because he's probably waking up and thinking that the plane's going down.
I know, he was like...
Oh, he was scared shitless. And my face...
What the fuck just happened?
And my face was horribly configured because that was the absolute worst. Put it this way, guys, it was one of them Charlie horses that, like, it was in the back of my leg, and then as I straightened it out, I got one in the front. So it was like, where do you go? Like, where do you go from a damn Charlie horse like that?
I felt bad for you. That was bad. I was like, do you need to get up in the aisle and stretch out? I'm like, tell this dude to move so you can, like, relieve yourself. And you're like, no, I'm okay. I can do this sitting right here. Somehow I mentally struggled through it. I know you did. I looked like I went into convulsion for a minute. It was, you know, so here you are. You're looking at like a 235-pound dude
that just went into a convulsion.
Yeah.
Stepped up so hard that I hit my head on the top of, things. So I was trying to stretch. I was trying to stretch my Charlie horse out. And the funniest thing is, when we got off the plane, I told Jeremy about it. He's like, I got one too. He's like, the same thing happened to me.
Poor guy.
It was just hilarious, but
what hilarious at the time.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we had a giggle about it.
Yeah, I always like things that make a good story.
That made a good story.
So anyhow, we get to the airport, right? San Diego. Meet up with Jeremy and Jennifer, and we're like, let's go get our rental car. And so we get out and get our rental car. So I rented a high-end muscle car. And we get there, and they're like, sir, we have a BMW. We're getting ready to do the photo shoot on this as well. So we talked about having a high-end American muscle car. And we're going to do a photo shoot on it. They promised me they'd have like a high-end Mustang or a Camaro or something like that. So I get there, and they're like, well, we have a BMW convertible. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to work. So I go ahead, and I'm like, you guys got an exotic division, right? So they take us over to the exotics.
And I'm the one. Don't be taking credit for this.
Go ahead.
I'm the one. When we went over there was a Tesla.
Yep.
The SUV edition. It was black. It was beautiful. I seen it. And I was like, what about that, John?
Yeah. So we get over there, right? And there's like, I don't know, there's like a Porsche and there's a Corvette. And obviously you guys know that we're not gonna take a dent removal photo shoot on a Corvette, right? So that would just be, it might work with some of the general public, but anybody who owned one would know that there was not a dent in there. So
can't be posers. You gotta keep it real.
So we ended up landing on the Tesla Model X, which is like an SUV with the gull wing doors in the back. So called Mike, you know what I mean, confirmed it and was like, dude, this is what we got to work with. Technically, it's American, and technically, this bitch is fast as hell. I'm here to tell you guys, when you stomp on one of them Teslas, and you want to call it a muscle car, put your muscle car upside this Tesla, dude. Because this thing ain't got no friction. This thing rocks it out. And I was like, okay, so it's American. It technically is a muscle car, but it's luxury, and it looks dope as hell with them gull wing doors flying up when you're doing dent removal on it. So, which turned out to be some of the sickest. Well, besides the Lamborghini was killer on the photo shoots. But the Tesla, the way we shot the photos, it was like screaming up the Tesla logo, hitting that light, and then seeing them gull wing doors, and you were like working on the hood, was just a killer angle for that thing.
It'd make your panties wet.
Right. So we're like, kick ass. All right, we got a Tesla. All right.
Hear what I said?
Yeah, it makes my panties wet.
It makes your panties wet.
Oh man, that reminds me of that dude on YouTube. He was like, Justin Bieber makes my panties wet. Justin Bieber may make a lot of panties wet. I'm just saying.
He did for you.
You know what? Hey, I'm telling you, dude. I have respect for anybody who can sing, the panties off a girl.
I know you love
Justin
Bieber.
Listen, all you guys can hate on Justin Bieber, but I'm here to tell you, until you can sing the panties off a girl, dude, you ain't got nothing to hate on, man. That guy's got something above and beyond what we can do.
He got some
skills. He can just start singing. Think about that. He can just sit here, and a girl can be sitting in front of him. He can just start, hey, 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 and the panties come off, dude. Like, that is legit respect. I don't care. I don't care what he does, what he sings. The panties come off. I respect it.
Melting off.
Yeah, because I remember I would have done anything to get the panties off.
Oh my god.
I don't care. Call me Justin Bieber, dude. I'm like singing panties off. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So back to the Tesla. Okay. Yes. So we're like bitching. We got a Tesla. We're driving it around, man, and we're like loving the features. We look at the dashboard. We're like, oh shit, we got like 60 miles until this thing needs charge. So we're like bitching. We're like bitching, man. We can go to a gas station, put this in. Heard it was like 15 minutes, and things fully charged up. So we start searching for Tesla stations. We're like, oh shit, the closest one, like the supercharger, is in San Diego. And we
40 minutes away from where
40
we're
minutes
from.
away from where we're at in the middle of a Friday night, which basically means the
No.
rest of our night, was it Thursday?
It was Thursday
Okay.
evening.
So the rest of our night would be screwed. So we find another charging station. What are them called? Like EV charging stations?
Something like that. It was at a hotel.
Yeah.
Different hotel.
Yeah. So this thing is at a hotel, right? And we roll up on it and we're like, oh, bitchin', we found one, right?
Yay, you know? Like,
So I
woohoo.
back it on up to the pump, you know. I get out and I grab the pump and I'm like, oh, why doesn't this thing come out of the locker? You know what I mean? It's like
Thing
stuck.
is fucking stuck in
It's
there.
stuck. So I look at it and I'm like, oh shit, like it doesn't even have I'm waving my credit card around it and stuff. I'm like, does it scan it? Does it like a
Like,
chipper?
what the fuck is going on?
And I'm like, oh no, it doesn't take my credit card, right?
We're so hungry right now.
Yeah, we're hungry, we're starving. It's after that event,
It's been
after
a
the event
long
on
day.
Thursday. So we try to put it in like drive and we start to roll away. We're like, we need to find another option. I look at her, I'm like, look, we ain't got no other option.
No,
We got to
we
figure
didn't
this
have-
shit out.
Yeah.
So we go to like one on the side of the building, we back into it, and there happens to be this like, I don't know, this actually he was driving like a Mercedes.
Yeah, it was in a Mercedes.
Electrical Mercedes or something like
Yeah.
that.
Really nice
and he, Just
guy.
a very, very proper, almost like an English gentleman.
Really nice guy.
But he
Very
sees us.
intelligent, knew everything about electric cars, answered all of our questions.
But he sees
was
us
like-
and he likes us.
Yeah, exactly, though. He was like, he was sent from God.
Yeah.
He was a blessing.
He was parked there
He
for a
saved
reason.
our evening.
And it was to like save our ass on like knowing everything about these
Exactly.
damn electrical cars. And we were asking him, and I'm like, oh, cool, dude. Well, I wanted to like hook it up for an hour, and we'll just walk across the street to this Mexican restaurant and we'll get some food. So he's like, I'm like, so how much would an hour give me? And he's like, well, usually an hour gives you about 20 miles. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, dude, I need like 140 miles.
Yeah, we needed something to get us back to like, what, 225 or something?
Yeah, to
when it was
225, and we
fully
were at like
charged.
60.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, man, this sucks. And I asked him, I was like, so like, how do you charge it? And then he has like this, like a Kroger's card or something
No,
like that.
it's like a prepaid card that you get for these EV.
But it looked like a Kroger's card, like
Yeah.
square, like a Kroger's card, you know? Or a, I don't know for any of you guys, like anywhere you shop at, the little tiny cards that are square and elongated. It's what it looked like he had. And so I'm like, okay, like how do I charge mine? You know what I mean? And he's like, well, you got to call the 1-800 number in the top, and you got to do it through that. And then he went on and he like told us all kinds of stuff about these electrical cars. Dude was super proud to be driving one. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
And so I get on the phone with him and I'm like calling him up, and finally like we go through all this protocol, all these
But
touch
they were
messages.
extremely nice. The
They were
customer
extremely
service
nice.
was like A+.
So we had to set up an account with them and put our card on file and all this kind of stuff. Tell them what our pump number was, which the guy actually guided us through that.
Yeah, really nice.
Really,
I
really
mean, extremely nice.
Yep, awesome. And so we finally give him everything, and the pump just magically unlocks, and he's on the phone with me. He's like, okay, we'll put it in, right? And we ended up putting it in, and then all of a sudden, like around the Tesla, the thing around the gas tank turns from like, I didn't even know there was a light
It wasn't
in
a
there.
gas tank. It was like the electrical.
The electrical plug-in, but
Yeah.
looks like where you would put a gas tank, right? And you plug it in there, and it turns bright green halo.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It was like,
and
do-do-do-do,
he's like, let me go ahead and check the feed and make sure you guys are like
yeah.
getting, you know. And he's
Yeah.
like, it's gonna be like 25 seconds or 25 cents a micro blah blah blah, like some shit that I don't even know, like something, right? A microwatt, 25 cents, and I'm like, I don't even give a fuck. I'm like, just whatever. And I look at her, I'm like, we're leaving this thing here tonight.
No, I said we are going to leave this thing overnight to charge. We will call an Uber and meet up with everybody else at the restaurant.
Yeah. So we ended up calling an Uber, having him pick us up there and take us to the restaurant where everybody was chilling at, right? But the sucky thing was, that thing had to be on a photo shoot the next day, so I had to call our photographer, which takes 3 hours to set up a photo scene, and I had to be there at 6:30 in the morning to get that thing over there.
But that bitch was fully charged.
It was fully charged. It was a good feeling, too.
And guess what? How much did it
Oh, I thought it was going to be like, I was like, dude, I don't know how much 25 cents a watt is or whatever, you know.
How much was the total?
$12 and some odd cents. All night long, man.
That is fucking amazing. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
worth it. It was a little bit of a headache.
Let me tell you where Enterprise screwed us, though.
They forgot to put the adapter to where
there's some sort of plug-in or something like that that's supposed to come with it that you can actually plug it into a wall.
Yeah.
And they said that they lost it, but we should have enough to get us through the vacation.
No, they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Yeah.
They didn't have any knowledge on electric cars whatsoever.
Yeah. So anyhow, we went ahead and headed over to the barbecue joint that Mike recommended. And a really freaking cool place. But the thing is, like, when you went and, like, to grab drinks or something like that, it was like you had to go and physically walk up and order them and bring them back to the table.
Well, yeah, it was Phil's barbecue. So you went up and you ordered your food and they gave you a little buzzer. And then they had a full bar on the other side of the restaurant. And you went over there and got your happy drinks, which that's what John and I did since it was a long day.
Yep.
It was a little bit, it was aggravating.
We were doing Uber.
Yeah, with the Tesla. And we're like, fuck this shit. I'm going to have some tequila. John's going to have a few beers. And we're going to have a good time.
But I'm here to tell you, I think Uber has saved so many freaking people's lives and like all that kind of stuff. It's so convenient and easy.
I love Uber.
I gotta give a shout out to Uber on this podcast because, like, literally, I don't know how many times I may have done something really bad if it
you
wasn't
have
for
offended
Uber.
some of the drivers.
Yeah, I did some bad stuff when I was talking to the Jenny Craig representative.
Saturday night.
Yeah, but we don't want to go that far, right? We're still on Thursday night. Yeah, so.
Okay.
But anyhow, like, here's the heads up, right? We ended up having a good time at the barbecue thing, and the food was amazing. Actually, all the food that we had over the whole weekend was amazing.
It was cheap and it was
Was
good.
it Thursday night that the sausage fest was going on?
Well, we caught a ride from the two gentlemen that were from New Orleans.
That's right. Ryan Brewer and Rusty Brewer.
Yeah, really.
Them are some cool dudes right there.
Yeah, very nice and respectful guys.
Awesome guys right there.
Yeah, totally love them.
They actually watched me negotiate a guy, like an Indian guy who owned a liquor store, out of a shot glass for free. You guys want to know how you do that? Nah, I'm going to have to tell you on my next sales seminar.
John bought a bottle of Patron and then somehow magically got the
shot glass
for free.
Given to me.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I didn't negotiate it. He just said, you can have it. Which,
he probably liked
totally
the way
nice.
you looked. He was like, ooh la la, look at this man.
So he didn't look gay.
He's like sexy as hell. Look at them brown eyes and them long eyelashes.
Good Lord, right?
But anyways, so we get back to the hotel.
Was that the night of the sausage fest?
Oh, I think the sausage fest was going on every night. Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, and Saturday night.
We may have just caught it that night, right?
I think we caught the sausage fest Thursday and Friday night.
Yeah. So we walk over there and there's like everybody's at the jacuzzi. And there's a bunch of dudes in the jacuzzi, right? Including my homeboys Daniel Graham and Vince D'Alessandro.
I love me some Vince.
Yeah. So they're all up in the jacuzzi, right? Just a bunch of dudes. And I walk around. It's almost like crowded. Like if you jumped in there, you would literally be like...
That would be Friday night.
Yeah, well, whatever. You'd be literally like on top of them. You'd slide in there with them like, hey, guys, our legs are touching. Let me put my arms around you. There's nowhere to put them, you know. And so walking around like bullshitting with them. And I think Daniel kept saying like, hey, John, put your foot in here. And I'm like... Nah, I'm good, man. I don't think I want any of that pee-pee energy like coming through my foot. and like doing all that to me. And then I do remember the coolest thing about it is that Vince popped up. And I'm going to tell you guys, man, Vince is like tattooed. Like you don't realize it because it's like all from his like elbows up, you know, that he is tattooed. But the one thing I was really surprised about is that Vince had a bitchin' old school tramp stamp.
He was proud of that.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell what it was. It looked all blurry, and I was trying to ask him what it was, and he's like, "It's a la la la," and I'm like, "I don't even know what that is, dude."
That was Friday night.
Yeah. So, but that's the important. You know what I mean? That's the important thing.
But Friday night we had sushi at Taboo.
Right.
Was it right?
Right.
Was that the name of it? Taboo.
At Taboo.
That was like a really good time.
That was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. That was actually one of the cool things about that is that Daniel introduced me to some sort of sushi that was insane. It was like, of course, leave it to Daniel. Okay, we decide that we're paying the bill, and he orders the most expensive sushi in the world.
Hey, Mary and I and you, we were okie dokie with that, and
yeah. So I tell him he's got to give me half of it. I mean, I'm fitting the bill, right?
Okay.
And so we ended up eating it. Absolutely phenomenal.
That was such a good time.
It was like some sort of fatty cut of tuna that you don't even want to dip in like
soy sauce
or anything like that.
I put wasabi
and it was
on
like
it.
It almost had like a buttery taste. It was absolutely amazing. So I'm glad Mr. Grom did that. You know what I mean?
It was a good time because I was able to me and Mary were able to sit by one another and just like truly vibe together.
Dude, Mary is the life of the party.
She is.
Like, I can't even tell you, like, you guys, I don't know if you guys have listened to like Mary's podcast. She had a little short podcast and she got out all she wanted to do, and she's like, I don't want to do it anymore, you know?
Well, what it was is because her kids are in, you know, certain activities, and
it doesn't matter because like
she needed to focus. She wanted to focus on them.
But if you listen to her podcast, like you get a glimpse of what her and Mike are like, you know, together, and it's so cool because like Mary is like, she's a sweetheart. I mean, she's like
no, I love her to death.
It's so funny,
she
like to hear Mary call Mike woman. Daddy. Like she's always like, hey, Daddy.
Daddy.
She's like, hey, Daddy. And Mike's like, if you look at some of the old school photos of Mike, if you look at some of the old school photos of Mike was a pimp daddy, dude. Look on Mike's face. If you guys are friends with Mike on Facebook, look on his Facebook page and go down a few and look at when him and Mary first met. They recently put a post up there, and she wrote like a really beautiful thing. Go ahead and get one.
Okay.
And she wrote a really, really good thing about them being totally opposite but yet complementing each other. And it is so, so true. Like every aspect of what she wrote. But that lady is freaking a party. Like, I wouldn't call her like a party animal, like she gets totally wasted. I would call her like the life of the party, you know? And she kept us entertained for days. Wouldn't you say? I mean, she probably kept us the most entertained out of anybody that was there.
Oh, I love Mary. I totally respect that woman. We vibed. I was just thinking, like, you know what? John and Mike have this beautiful partnership with one another.
You guys might not know this, but me and Mike have been doing Dent Trainer since, 2014? And we probably built it in 2012.
But this was like a first time where, Mike, like, we were all able to, like, hang out and have a good time and just meet one another and vibe well. And it's just, like, it's just a... You know, how do I want to say? How do I want to say?
Let me step back though. Let me step back though.
Okay.
But what she's talking about is that me and Mike have had a partnership since 2012, pretty much.
And it's beautiful.
And we haven't even like argued with each other. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful.
Like we've never gotten into like an argument.
And you know what's so awesome is like the wives meet and they just gel well with one another, and there's that mutual respect and that love, and it's like, you know what? This is just a blessing from God. This is beautiful. This is family.
Right. Yep.
Family. It was just a good time. Like, I love Mary. Of course I love Mike, but like
but I love Mike, but
but I love Mary. Sorry, Mike.
It is so
like,
funny,
I
though.
love Mike, but me and Mary just really vibed very well together. We just kind of connected on that deeper level with one another, and there's just a mutual respect, and just it was a good time.
Well, I mean, ultimately, that really does show, like, it takes so much of a great woman to make a great man.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with Vince D'Alessandro, too.
Oh, I love Vince.
And his wife, Melinda?
Yes, I love Melinda.
But, Melinda came in, and we're like, oh, my God, like, this is Vince's, like, soulmate or something. And we just had Vince on our podcast. If you haven't heard this, go back. And he's the one who met. She was at a coffee shop, and then he was with a stripper at a fetish festival.
She is like,
and he met his wife.
She is so sweet and so real at the same time.
Yeah.
And she is like, she's a beautiful lady.
And the interesting thing is, like,
I understand why, like, Vince wanted to get with Melinda.
Yeah.
Like, she's a really cool chick.
She looks perfect for Vince. Not looks, but I don't want to say looks because, well, they do look perfect for each other. I mean, she's beautiful and he's I ain't gonna lie. I mean, Vince is a Italian stallion. You know what I mean? I'll give it to him, right?
But she's just a gorgeous lady.
Very gorgeous lady.
Yeah, she is.
But also with like such a good vibe.
Absolutely, she has a good aura to her.
Yeah. And the funniest thing was, so I'll kind of move on to the story a little bit. So Daniel gets absolutely tanked.
This is Saturday night, guys.
Yeah, Saturday night. So Daniel gets tanked, right? And the funniest thing was he's wearing this leopard looking vest. And he's walking around.
Something out of like late 80s, early 90s.
Like late 80s, early 90s. And he's walking around asking people, because it's like Halloween type dress up, like, what does he look like? And everybody, like, straight off the bat says Fred Flintstone. And
they're like, no, he's not like Fred Flintstone. He's more like Barney.
Or like Barney or something. And he's getting so offended about it. And he looks at you and goes, no. He's like, I'm Ferris Bueller. And so I guess like
Where's
he had
the penny loafers?
But I guess like the only thing that tied it in is he actually had the real vest of Ferris Bueller or something like that he brought with him.
I don't know. That's what he told us.
Yeah, he told us that he had bought the real vest that Ferris Bueller wore or something like that. And but that was like the only thing that made him like that. So nobody guessed it. And then like he was like really 3 sheets to the wind that night.
He was very emotional, and I kind of felt kind of like bad for him in a way, because everybody had their wife there. And poor Daniel was.
I did feel bad.
Yeah,
I felt bad.
He didn't have his wife there, and
he actually wanted his wife there.
Yeah, he did. He was saying how he missed his wife, and I think that's why he drank so much. Like why he was like 3 sheets
right?
to the wind.
So anyhow, like he orders his food. I mean, you know that if you guys know me and you listen to PDR full time, I'm always busting Daniel's balls about something, right? Whether it's being hairy or something like that, you know. And he's busting my balls about something else. I mean, we just have that type of relationship. But he ends up ordering.
There's love between you guys,
right?
And Daniel's got a good heart. He's not a bad guy. He's got a good heart to him.
No, full on. I mean, if he didn't, he wouldn't be with us. You know what I mean? But we all see that, right? He
can be a stinker every now and then.
He can be a stinker, right? We all see that, right? But going back to that, like he ends up ordering a Caesar salad, right?
A full-size
Caesar salad,
fish and chips.
And it's the full-size Caesar salad comes out, right? And the first thing I say, I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? Who ordered the Caesar salad? Daniel's like, it's me. And then I just jumped up and said something about like how Daniel eats woman food. And everybody just started laughing, right? And the next thing you know, a full order of fish and chips comes out. Like he's got 2 meals sitting in front of him. Mm-hmm. I mean, 2 plates the size of like massive plates. And he eats maybe a 1/10 of both of them.
That place was not, that Irish bar was not stingy with their food.
Oh,
because
no, they had
ordered
big
that shepherd's pie, and I thought I was just going to get a little bowl full, and it came out, in a small iron skillet that could have at least fed 3 people.
That was like one of the best Irish bars that I've ever been to.
Yes, I will say that. I will admit to it.
So anyhow, we're just like having a good time, right? I mean, that night was so cool, and we're just rocking it out, partying. Daniel's totally wasted. We get ready to go to the next bar, and me and Angela were riding with Mike and Mary. So we get ready to jump in the car, and there's a couple of us still standing out there. And the waiter comes out and says, "Hey," he's like, "somebody hasn't paid for their bill." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah?" And he's like, "Yeah, they ended up having a Caesar salad and fish and chips."
I was like,
And
oh, Daniel.
all of us started we're like, "Oh, God. Oh, my God." So Daniel sticks me with the bill. I walk over and pay. I think it was like $90.
It was like $82 and some odd cents.
So I'm always a good tipper. That's what I do. But I gave him like $120 to cover the bill, and but it was actually worth the laugh, really.
Yeah.
Because when he came out, when he said that when he said somebody stiffed the bill, and it came out that it was Daniel's bill,
I think what it was is Daniel had a few drinks before he got there to the restaurant, and then he had some more drinks, and then at the next place we went to. But then he was emotional, and just kind of he was kind of a little bit in a slump, which I completely.
That's the first time I've seen Daniel in an emotional slump.
I just wanted to give him a big hug and say it's going to be all right.
Usually he reverts to being a little bit of a dirty guy.
I know, and he wasn't like that at all, and I felt so bad. That's
cool.
For
Maybe
him.
he's changing internally. Maybe we're rubbing off on him, and he's like.
I think he's just.
I doubt it.
I think he's just a sensitive guy, deep down inside.
Deep down, he is.
He is.
Yeah, you say something to Daniel, he might rub it off, but I don't know.
I think he is. I think he's just deep down. I think he's a sensitive guy. I think he's a loving guy. I think he cares about everybody.
Yeah, he does.
He just don't like to show it.
Yeah.
But that's okay, though.
Right.
He showed it that night.
Right.
And it gave everybody an appreciation of him.
Right. So, moving forward, we ended up going to riding with Mike Toledo over to this brewery type place that was on a college campus.
We were jamming in the vehicle though.
That dude tricks out his cars. He takes a what does he got? One of them Toyota RAV4, a brand new RAV4.
Jamming in that thing.
But it looked dope though. I was like, how do you make a RAV4 look good? And Mike managed to make it look really, really good. And then on top of that, he replaced the whole stereo system with this crazy sounding, epic. If you guys know anything about Mike Toledo, the dude's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I watched him mop. He's got a Dent Time logo on the floor. And I watched him mop it 100 times while we were at the event.
Oh, Mary said that thing wasn't clean enough that he'll just
replace
end
it.
up replacing
He'll replace it.
Yeah.
So Mike is very, very detailed on everything, okay?
He's OCD.
And that's what makes him
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
Well, no, you're OCD.
Exactly. I can relate to Mike.
So
I appreciate that.
That's what makes him such a amazing, detailed guy. So you see somebody else's video work and it kind of looks half-ass, and then you see Mike Toledo's video work and you're like, oh my God, everything is dialed in, because the dude can't stand to have something out of order, which is a superpower. I want to say that sometimes people would say something okay, you're OCD. Well, dude, fuck that. That's my superpower.
Exactly.
That's my superpower.
That is
okay.
Yes.
So that's why you can't make the stuff as good as I can. That's why you can't do what I can do in this level, and that's where he's at. With that.
Exactly.
So
and that's Mike
respect.
Toledo.
That's Mike Toledo. Mm-hmm. And not only that, did he find the damn best photographer in the fucking planet.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah. Listen, when Mike told me, okay, because Mike has came to me and critiqued at least 10 photographers. He said, oh, he was good on this, but he had this wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he told me that our photographer was on, he's like, dude, this guy's the best I've ever seen.
That guy,
he's insane. Da. I said, I didn't even have to question it. I'm like, dude, I'm going to see his work. If you say that, I know it's right.
I seen his work and I was like, do you think we can hire him to do our family photos? And John had to
He doesn't do
I
family
know, and I
photos.
was just like, damn.
Because it would take him 3 to 4 hours to set up one scene for one shot. And
but they're so good, though. They are so good. It's just like...
So David specializes in commercial photo shooting. And
he's one hell of a photographer.
Yeah. So in that regard, he sets up like a crazy amount of strobing and lighting and all that stuff. Like, okay, so you think of photography, like you take out a photo and you just clip a photo and you're like, oh, that sucks. Let me adjust my camera. No, fuck that. This guy's got 20 lights around the place, pointed at different directions. He's adjusting every angle, every snap, every second, down to the point where like 20 lights all snap off at random seconds and make the perfect photo. And it's the most insane thing that I've ever seen.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I had to be there with the Tesla way early in the morning, so I was the only guy that could do the, hey, stand in this photo. We need to see what a person looks like. So I'm sitting there trying to drink my coffee, and every 10 seconds, like he probably took 150 photos of me getting the Tesla dialed in. And
he was a perfectionist.
Yep.
He was like, he knew what he needed to accomplish to achieve the photos that everybody would love.
Big money to hire this guy, y'all. Big money. We brought this guy in, paid for his hotel, paid for his daily expense. Amazing dude. And let me tell you something.
You get what you pay for,
you get what you pay for. Oh, dude, I couldn't even imagine like hiring a regular cost photographer.
Hell, motherfucking no.
You know, we'll sign up 10 more people, and you know what I mean. It will help cover the cost of that. But you know, to us, it's all about the quality. That's what we care about.
That guy is talented. Like, he found his niche. He found his niche in life on what he was supposed to do.
That guy, yes.
And that is what he was supposed to do.
Absolutely. And the craziest thing is, though, let me tell you guys something. The guy is shooting from a $35,000 camera.
Yes.
And it's got to be, get this, it's got to be sent to Sweden. Sweden, like a Rolex, you know what I mean? Send my Rolex to Sweden. It's got to be sent there to be cleaned for like a $2,700 fee every 6 months. And then all of his lighting that he has around there has to be sent to like Norway or some shit to be replaced and updated and all this stuff.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to be the best.
The guy had so much equipment.
The guy is phenomenal.
So I want you guys to don't think about your photographer locally that shows up with a camera. This dude was different, 100% different level. And blown away, man.
He knew what he was doing.
You know, and here's the crazy thing. So my business partner, Mike Toledo, is shooting the video stuff. And he's basically saying that Mike is as detailed as him. I mean, it literally takes Mike the same amount of time to set up a video shoot.
That's okay, though.
Yeah, but unbelievable, these guys. Unbelievable.
Mike is good at what he does.
Yep.
And the photographer, David, is good as what he does, right?
My peeps. And guess what? I sell out an entire event in 2 weeks.
You and Mike did.
Yep,
you guys did. Yeah. And it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. You guys have a beautiful partnership. Mm-hmm. And me and Mary just really gel well together. Like, we couldn't really ask for anything better. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. I mean, I was so happy with the way that, like, everything, like, because here's what you guys got to think. The last time that I met Mary, and she even told me this, I know this, because the last time that I talked to Mary was when she interrogated me in 2014 before our partnership was set up.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with it, because, you know, here's the thing you guys got to think about. I do this shit for Mike now, because Mike is legitimately, like, one of the nicest guys that I've ever met.
No, he is.
And he cannot be relied on to make a decision because he makes them too much with his heart. And sometimes
he's got a good soul.
Right.
Got that good aura. Mary
early on has watched people take advantage of Mike based on that. Because he's an artist,
before.
Right?
We've all had that happen. We've all been taken advantage of.
We've all been taken advantage of, right?
And Mary and I have, like, we went down that road about.
And I have, right?
Yes.
So I had a heart
advantage.
that I used to let anybody into our business, anybody into our life.
Exactly.
And then we would get taken advantage of, and then my wife would step up and be like, "Fuck that, man."
Exactly.
And she'd be like, "No, they got to go through me." And basically, I went through Mary. I passed the test. And,
you know what I loved was Friday night when we were like all eating sushi. Me and Mary were having like a discussion, and we would be talking, and all of a sudden we would say the same thing at the same time. I don't know how many times that happened, but it was just so refreshing. I was just like, girl, me and you are on the same wavelength.
Oh, the funny thing is, like, we ended up keeping Mary out to like we were like the last people that closed down the
She's
sushi bar.
having a good time. She's
Yeah.
having such a
So
good time.
Mike calls Vince and he's like, "Where's my wife?" And I'm like, "Dude, tell her that we took her to Tijuana and like went to a donkey show or something."
Out living it up in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was a good time. Mm-hmm. Everything went well. Everything just flowed well. It vibed well. It was
cool.
It was really good.
And then I ended up, let me see, Jeremy Carroll, which is
That
my dude.
Yeah, that was Friday night.
Friday night, right? he starts telling me about like
We're out by the hot
So Jeremy's
tub,
a big dude.
or
I want to
the
think about like
sauna,
he's
or
a
jacuzzi, whatever you
bigger,
wanna
muscular dude, and his wife Jennifer. You guys seen her on the podcast. I mean,
her.
she's a sweetheart. She's a beautiful lady, and I mean they complement each other. You know what I mean?
She's a good girl. She really is.
I love Jennifer.
She's got a good heart to her.
Yeah, yeah.
We vibed very well.
Love her,
together.
love her.
I do. I love her to death.
Yeah.
I do.
So Jeremy tells me about how he's like holding some dude like he's his baby. Like for whatever reason, I don't know. He stopped into the store. He's like holding some guy. And I was like, you know what, dude? You're about to be my baby.
You're going to be my fucking baby tonight.
If you guys haven't seen the video. So I grabbed Jeremy and pick him up like my baby. And like hold him there for everybody. And Vince is taking the video and he's like, "Hey,
John, you're like, you're my baby, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and he's like scratching the top of your head.
No, like Vince says, you need some titty milk.
Oh, titty milk.
And Jeremy says, I don't know what titty milk is, and he starts petting the top of my head after he says that. It's the funniest video.
I'm sure that Jeremy knew what titty milk was.
I'm sure he did too.
He probably just couldn't find your nipple.
He tried to say when I first picked him up that I grabbed the Frank's hand beans.
You might have.
I didn't hear him screaming though.
You might have liked it.
Oh my God, guys. Y'all are seeing how we roll, right? Again, not even one fuck given, so.
That's right.
I like that.
It was such a good time.
Yeah, we had a really good time there in San Diego, and then we flew home, and I had to get up super early to drive the Tesla home.
Oh my
to the
God.
airport. I'm sorry.
I couldn't get this man up out of bed. I was like, listen.
It was
Okay,
tough.
so we got back to the hotel at 10:30. We had to get up at 2 o'clock. This is California time. I was like, we have to get up at 2 o'clock. We got to get our ass washed. This and that. We got to get our bags packed. We got to be on the road no later than 4 o'clock. Because here's the thing. In San Diego, you return your vehicle at this one place, and then you have to take a 15, 20-minute shuttle to the airport.
Yeah.
And then once you're to the airport, then you need to go through we flew Delta, so you have to go through all that. And then you have to go through TSA, and you know how it is. You just want to make sure that you get there in enough time. And pretty much, John fought me tooth and nail getting up. It was just like, come
I only
on.
need 15 minutes.
Who's the one that packed everything?
You.
Exactly. You did not help me at all.
I thanked you all the way there.
But then
Who drove there?
Yeah, but
Yeah, me.
I think somebody still might have been a little bit intoxicated from the night before.
You know, I was kind of thinking about that, but
I think you were. I think I probably should have drove because there was nobody on the freeway. It was.
I don't think I went in and out of the lines or anything like that.
No, but you kind of I was just kind of
I was tired as fuck.
I was like, what the fuck is going on here, you know? And then we get
That's
there.
debatable.
Then we get there and we're standing in line with Delta to check in. And John's like, I need coffee so bad. So he goes over to get some coffee and brings back a coffee and a sandwich. And here I'm taking two.
The sandwich, let me tell you guys, the sandwich had like bacon and cheese and peanut butter and jelly. I don't even know what I ordered.
Like, I'm taking 2 suitcases plus the tickets in my hand and moving them in line, okay? Now, get it. I'm only like 5'4" and taking 2 full-size luggages, and I'm trying to move up gracefully in line, and I'm like, what the fuck is taking him so long? And then finally, here he comes along with a coffee and a sandwich in his hand, and I'm like, you could have got that fucking that sandwich when we went through TSA.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? This is what happened. This was a little bit of karma, right? He opens up his sandwich, this and that, and is trying to get an order. And next thing you know, he drops it and gets peanut butter and jelly all over his sandwich and all over the floor.
Well,
and
actually,
like,
I just dropped it right on the floor.
No, you got it on your shirt. Remember? Yeah.
I don't know. I slept like the whole way home. Like,
I know.
I actually fell asleep during takeoffs and landings.
Yeah, and takeoff is not like, I hate takeoff, and I like needed John's support, and what's John doing?
All right. Well, let's go back to one of your things, though, right?
What?
So there was one night, I think, you said that you really helped me be really successful. Why was that during the whole trip?
John.
Oh, she's stalling out now, isn't she?
I was giving you what you needed to perform your 100%.
I thought I was going to stall her out on that one. We'll just let you guys use your imagination.
Let's just keep it real, right?
Yeah.
Mama gave Daddy what he needed to make sure that he was 100% the next day.
And I was.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Just be thanking me.
She's like, I'm the reason for your success.
Anybody that went to that event was like, John, you were so amazing with your speech.
Oh, don't go there.
Just be
don't
like,
go there.
you know what? Just thank my wife because she did what she needed to do.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Yeah.
I help you out when it's needed and you help me out when it's needed, right? So that way we can be 100.
Well, cool. I thought she was going to get all embarrassed and back out of that one, but it seems like she came all the way through.
I kept it real. You know how
kept it real.
As
you
the real
kept
deal.
It real.
That's
all
right. I'm the
Good
real
job.
deal.
Good job on that one. So, anyhow, or do we need to cover anything else in this podcast? Anything you can remember, think of? I think we just kind of went through our whole trip.
No, I think this is going to be an amazing
Wait,
podcast.
I do want to say one thing.
What?
Vince D'Alessandro is a fucking good speaker.
I love Vince.
Not only is he funny, he's real. And
He is so real.
That's what I look for in an
raw.
amazing speaker. Now, I'm not talking about like all of our other speakers were great, okay? And I've heard the same shit, you know what I mean? But Vince, like hearing him like firsthand, like this is the first time I've ever heard Vince D'Alessandro speak. And the
Besides
dude,
being on our podcast and being,
of course, yeah. And he was real on our podcast, but like speaking, that
That's
dude
so
was,
good.
man, he was entertaining.
I love
And not only
Vince.
was he entertaining, he was funny, and he kept everybody's, he's a live wire, you know.
He was like real and he's being authentic and everybody was able to relate to him.
He was telling people about how he was scared to bring people into like
100.
Yeah, like he was
being
like
a 100.
He was being
That's
100,
all he
man.
was.
Like
He was being
all these
100.
people act like they know all their shit, and he was just saying, "Hey, these are my fears, and these are what I'm doing really well at." And people respected the shit out of that, and so did I. I mean, and not only that, Vince was our event coordinator. Like,
He did such an amazing job.
yeah, he did. And even when he's hungover
love
on
Vince.
Saturday, he kept everything
I love
together.
Vince.
Like he would look like a zombie that was like doing all his work really good and really fast.
That man has like,
He's got a good heart.
Yeah, but he's got a gift, though.
He does.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
He has a gift.
Vince
And
D'Alessandro.
sometimes I think Vince doesn't realize that the gift that he has, but he has an amazing gift.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
And then when I met his wife, and then his son is a absolute stinker. Like, he literally, like, his son is so cool, but... Like, I walk up to him, right, and the first thing, like, Vince's son, the very first time I met him, like, he jumps out of the chair and, like, dives at me. He's like, John, you know? And he comes, like, running up to me, and he stops and he pauses for a second. He looks at me and he goes, you're not as big as I thought you were. And I was like, that was so, like, it came from Vince, you know what I mean? That was awesome.
Yeah. I love them.
And then I told him that he acted like his dad. And he looked at me, he's like, don't you say anything bad about my dad. I was like...
Like, no, that's a compliment, buddy.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it was cool. Yeah, it was just a great time, great event, great experience.
I know,
and,
great people.
Yeah, we're still feeling it out, man. It's like... I don't know if y'all haven't ever attended. I mean, I'm just telling you, the attendees. I can't even tell you the amount of people.
There was so much love and so much like positivity that came from it. I can't even tell.
Like,
it's like seriously, everybody supported one another and everybody wanted the best for one another. And it's like, let's go out there and fucking conquer the world. We are going to be number one, right?
I can't even tell you the amount of people that came up to me and shook my hand in a way that was never like shook before. Their appreciation for what had happened there was like off the chart. They were just like, dude, man, like everything about this, what you said that inspired me, you know, what I'm getting, like everything, man, I'm ready to go home and just like kill it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the event, you remember looking at me and I looked at you and said, I can't believe it's over.
I know. You wanted to
I wanted to stay in that moment forever.
Keep going.
I wanted to stay, like, on the last day. You'd think I'd be, like, tired as shit,
that's
stressed out.
We're gonna
I'd want to leave,
again,
right? It wasn't like that. But it wasn't like that. Like, me and Mike both agreed, like, we wanted to stay in that moment forever.
But you know what? You guys are going to have that moment again very soon.
Oh, we already got it planned.
Very
Don't
soon,
even worry about that,
people.
because not only we're going to have that moment, but we're critiquing the event that we had that everybody said was so great. We're critiquing it to make it so much better, man. And I'm guarantee you that this event stuff, like, not only are we going to master photography, and we've already have, not only are we mastering video, not only are we mastering marketing, but we're going to master the entertainment aspect of the event.
There's so much more to come.
Yeah, even if you look, like Keith Cosentino came down and he texted me. He was like, dude, you ran that event like you've done it, you know, like 100 times. And, you know, some sort of text like that he sent to me and Mike and congratulating us. And that was such a compliment because, you know, Keith does events. And it just made me think, like, dude, like, we're falling into our calling and we need to just... not only that, like, dude, I don't care what people say. Okay, this event was great. You tell that to me now, guess what? The next one you come to is going to be 100 times better.
Exactly.
That's just the way we roll. It's about the experience.
It's how we roll.
I'm thinking about, look, here's the thing I looked at. Like, we'd have a speech or we'd have, like, a meeting or something like that. And if I looked over and in between that, like, one person looked like they were tired or like somebody wasn't hanging out with them or something like that. If there's one person like that, I was like, what could we do to entertain that one guy?
Exactly.
Because it would entertain everybody in the whole room. Mm-hmm. We're going to find things in between the action. I mean, that's what I'm dedicated to.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
So we wrapping it up?
Yes.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you coming along for this Tactical Dent Tech podcast.
Remember, it's all about the hustle and it's all about the real deal.
All right. We'll see you on the next one.
Whoop, whoop.